Hi everybody, I hope we're all okay at home. It's been a really long time, hasn't it, since we've been in school and since we've been learning as we normally would. We've been doing lots of home learning at home and that's been really good, but it's been different, hasn't it? Okay. We don't know when we're going to be back in school properly. We just don't know. So in the meantime, what we've done in years 3 and 4 is we're starting to use something called Google Classroom, and I'm going to show you all about Google Classroom right now. Okay, we're going to start using it from next week, Monday. Okay, Monday the 15th of June, and I'll show you all about it. Okay, everybody will be given a username, which is an email address, and a password to log in to your Google account, and you can log in up here where it says sign in. Once you've signed in, if you click these 3 dots near the sign in, or 9 dots, sorry, it's in a 3x3 grid, you can see all the apps, and on the apps somewhere is one called Classroom. Sometimes it's not on there though, but if you see it, you can click on that and it'll take you to Google Classroom. If it's not on, what you can do is you can type in Classroom. Okay, and if you search for that, it'll take you straight to this one, Google Classroom, or classroom.google.com. If you're struggling with that, you could type in on the top classroom.google.com. okay, and that should take you to there. You'll be asked to join your year group or your class group. Initially, we're going to start doing it in years, not in classes. We may change it to classes later on. Okay, but when you get sent this link, press join, and that means you'll join the class and you'll be able to do whatever we're doing on the class. Okay, so now I'm in the class and it tells you all about it, which is quite cool. First off is this stream window, and that'll show you different things that your teachers have been posting, and it'll also show you on here upcoming. That tells you what work you've got due. At the minute I've got no work due, which is great, but I'm sure I will soon. And you can see what work has been set for you. Okay, if you click on classwork, this is where it gets quite interesting. All of this gives you a little bit of advice, but what we're going to do on classwork, we're going to set certain times that we're going to deliver lessons. Your teachers are going to deliver lessons for year 3 and 4. And we're going to deliver video lessons. They're going to be live, and we're going to do it through this thing here that says Meet. Okay, so if on classwork, when it is the time for a lesson, and you'll be told what times lessons will be, we'll get that information to you. If you press Meet, it'll take you to this screen. Okay, and it just gets ready. It says here, getting ready. Okay, and if you are in that class and you're logging on at the right time and pressing Meet at the right time, you should be in the lesson. You should be able to see the lesson. If not, there's little codes that we can give you to enter. Okay, and if when all that's set up, if you click join now, okay, you'll be in the lesson. Okay, and at the minute there's only me, and I can see myself talking to myself there. There's only me at the minute in the lesson, but there will be other people in the lesson when it's time for the lesson. I'm going to switch that off now because it's confusing me a little bit. Okay, so when you first come onto the lesson, it's going to be a really good idea if we're going to need everybody to go down to this microphone button and press turn off microphone. Okay, make sure it goes red. That will turn off the microphone of whatever device you're using, whether you're on a laptop, a computer, maybe an iPad. Okay, it'll turn the microphone off. If we have 50 people all in this lesson together and we can hear everybody talking and breathing, and we can hear dogs barking and mummies and daddies talking and babies crying in the background, it's going to be a very distracting lesson. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is turn this microphone off. Up here at the top, it shows you what people are in. Okay, Mr. Myers, that's me, I'm the only one in at the minute. But you can also enter this chat Okay, and if we use this chat box responsibly, it's going to be a very, very useful resource for us to have. Your teachers might ask you questions, and you may be able to answer these questions in this chat box. Or, if it's appropriate, and your teacher says it's okay, you may be able to ask questions throughout the lesson as well, using this chat box. Different teachers will have different guidance and different rules on how they'd like their lessons to be. Okay, but we need to listen to those, and we need to make sure that we're being mindful of everybody, that everybody can access these and everybody can listen to the lesson. Okay, so if we go off that lesson, we'll switch off using this button there, leave call. Okay, and we'll go back onto the class. After the lesson, or before, you maybe set some work that relates to the lesson. So for example, I might have just been part of a lesson on adverbial phrases. Okay, so what I can do, I can click on adverbial phrases and I can view the assignment. It calls it an assignment. You can see over here I've got the title adverbial phrases, and it says, using the simple sentence, the dog sat down, come up with adverbial phrases for how, why, where and when it might have sat down. Afterwards, use those ideas to create sentences underneath that include your adverbial phrases. And over here, you might see it says your work. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the work, and often your teachers may create these worksheets for you. This was obviously a couple of days ago. Your teachers might create these worksheets for you on something called Google Documents, or Google Docs for short. Okay, you can see we've got a learning objective there, and if we go across, okay, we can see a dog, and it says the dog sat down. What I've got to do is I've got to come up with adverbial phrases. That might be confusing at the minute, but if you'd have been part of that lesson, it would make a lot more sense. Okay, and the good thing about this Google document is that it's a lot like Microsoft Word, if you've ever used that. And what you can do is you might set down, the dog sat down. Why? Because it was tired. Okay, you can add your own work to that. You can add to the worksheet, okay, and add your answers. And once you've completed the whole worksheet, it's very important that you go up to the top of your screen, and here this button is incredibly important. We need to always do this with our work. You need to press turn in. That turns in your work. It gives it to your teacher when you've finished. Only press that when you've finished, but it's very important that you do press it when you've finished. Okay, so you turn in your work. Confirm here that you want to turn in. Yes, I want to turn it in. It just checks that that's really what you want to do. And then after you've turned it in, that's fine. Your teacher can see it. It says there I've turned it in late because it was due for a couple of days ago, but I don't think my teacher would be that annoyed at me. And over here we've got private comments, so you can write a comment as well, a private comment that nobody else will see. Only you and your teacher will be able to see your comment, but your teacher can also write comments too about your work, and they might love to tell you of all the fantastic things you've done and what they're really proud of with your work, or they may want to suggest some improvements. Okay, so that's one way that we might be able to set your work, is through those Google documents that I've just shown you. If I go back another way, if I go to classwork, I'm looking at English here. Another way may be through a quiz. Okay, so if I click on maths quiz, it looks very much the same. Okay, it looks very much the same. It's a test maths quiz. Wow. But if I go on it, it just says maths quiz. And just like the other one, oh no, that's the wrong thing. That's the wrong one. That's one that didn't work when we were trying it out. But that's okay, it's good to try them out. This is the one I wanted. Times table quiz. Oh, okay, so I've got a times tables quiz. So I might be able to press it, and this is a form. It's a Google form, not a Google document. And it's different because it's a bit like a quiz, like a little test. So 3 times 5, what might 3 times 5 be? Let's say I think that is 20. I really know that it's not 20. I'm trying to get it wrong on purpose. I have 10 boxes of crayons. Each box contains 8 crayons. How many crayons do I have altogether? Oh, if you're really clever, you might be saying 80 right now. Okay, and I'm going to leave that one. Oh, that's a multiple choice one, actually. I'm going to do it. 4 times 5, oh, is that 16? Is that 20? Is that 24? I think that one's 20. And I'm going to go down. How is the 8 times table similar to the 4 times table? Okay, when you're finished, at the bottom for that one, you have to click submit or your teacher won't be able to see what you've put. Okay, and there it says response submitted and it's marked as done, so your teacher will see that you've done that. They'll be able to see your score, but you'll also be able to see your score, because for some questions teachers may want to set correct answers and you can see whether you've got it right or wrong. But as you can see, so for this one, for that one it's saying I got it right. For this one it's saying I got it wrong, because I did. And for this one it's not saying right or wrong really, but your teacher may want to say whether you got it right or wrong. Okay, so they're a form or a quiz. There's one more way that we may be able to set work for you. Oh, I suppose it's not really work, but there's other things that we can do with this. We may just write something or set up a question. So, for example, where did I see it? I saw it somewhere. If I go on classwork and I go down to PSHE, there's one question, and that is, why is sharing important? So as you can see, Mr. Myers has set the question, why is sharing important? And Miss Rashid has said it is very important in life, and anyone can add a comment to that and maybe share why they think sharing is important. Okay, and that might be an interesting thing to do. If we go back as well, there's maybe another thing. There's something called material. Okay, material, and that is something. It might be a worksheet, it might be something else, but there's nothing that you can do to it. You can't change it, you can't edit it, you don't have to do any work. You may just have to look at the material or read it. It might be a chapter from a book, and your teacher might say that you need to read this for next week. Okay, but you don't have to complete anything, you don't have to write anything, you just have to look at something. Okay, if you're having any trouble whatsoever with completing work on Google Classroom or submitting the work, then just scribble your answers down on a piece of paper, take a picture of it and email it into the class emails that you've already got. We're not that bothered how the work is completed, as long as we're trying to get through our learning in this time and trying to complete our work in whatever way we can. And if you have any questions whatsoever about any of this, email your class teachers through the emails that you've already been given. So that's all the ways that we will be using Google Classroom starting from Monday the 15th of June, that's this Monday, in year 3 and 4. I hope to see as many people as I can on some lessons. We'll get some further information out to you when we have it. Thank you. Stay safe.